Hello everybody, welcome back to day 3 of our bead along, the final day. So we have made our pendant and we have our other 2 little chatons waiting and ready to go up above on our necklace as these sections here. So that's what we'll be working on today, is these sections up here, and then also very quick and easy tutorial for the chain, which is basically just right angle weave. Okay, so go ahead and get yourself a nice long piece of thread, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a kind of miniature version of the squares that we made for the larger bicones. Okay, so instead of picking up 4 of our beads, we're going to pick up 2 of our 15 O's and 1 of our A beads, and we're going to do that 4 times, so kind of just like what we did before, but instead of picking up 4, we're only picking up 2. Okay, so what you should have on your needle is 4 sets. So you started with the 2 15 O's and then 1 of your A beads, and then just repeat that 4 times, okay? And you're going to push it down, leave your tail. Your 4-inch tail is standard, 2 times the length of your needle, and you're going to sew through the very first bead that we added, that 15O, in order to form a loop. And while I'm thinking about it, don't forget that there are PDF files available for purchase for $5, and there is a link down below. So if you're struggling, or if you want a hard copy, or if you want to say thank you, that is a great purchase. $5. I've priced it cheaper than, you know, a normal tutorial would be, because the videos are free and it's a bead along, and you know, I want everyone to take part. So it's only a little token $5 if you want that. It's 12 pages long. There are 2 files included, one for right-handed beaders and one for left-handed beaders. Okay, all right, so we're coming out from the first 15O. We're going to pick up 1 of our B beads, and we're going to go through the next 15O, the next A bead, and the next 15O after that. So 3 beads in total, and pull. So we're making a square, kind of like we did for that very first piece that we made. Okay, so we're gonna again go through the next 3 beads. So pick up a B, go through the next 3 beads, and one more time we're going to pick up a B bead. We're going to go through the next 15, 11, and 15, and one more time to finish off our square. Pick up a B bead, go through the 15, the 11, the 15, and then you can step up into the next corner bead. Okay, so you should have a little square shape or diamond shape. I guess it's more of a diamond, but a square shape like this. Okay, so now, just like we did before, instead of picking up 3 and an A bead, we're only going to pick up 2 and an A bead. So 2 15s, an A bead, and 2 15s, and you're going to go through the next corner. Okay, so that's just going to make a little loop that sits around it like so. Sorry, this is very small. Okay, so just repeat that 3 more times. So pick up 2, pick up an A, and 2, and repeat into the next corner. And when you get back to where you're adding the last one on, go ahead and sew through the corner plus the next 3 beads. Okay. So we have this. We're going to go ahead, sew down to the next corner, and then you're going to sew through until you get on the inside. You're going to sew through the 15-0 and the 11-0. Okay, so we're coming out from the A bead on the inside of our square. So we just kind of, I don't know why I went over there. You don't need to do that. You can cut through here if you want. Okay, so we're coming out right here. You're going to pick up one of your bicones, 4mm bicone, okay? So I'm coming out the top, so I'm going to enter into the top of the opposite 11-0. And then I'm going to sew back the other direction through the 4mm that I just added on. Okay. And then I'm going to go into that 11-0 where we started from, and the next 15-0 as well. Okay, so we now have this little tiny piece right here. Okay. All right, so we're gonna sew around the inside square until we meet our tail. We're gonna tie them together, and then we're gonna tie in the ends. So you're gonna do that for, you might as well make 2, because you'll need one for this side, one for the other side, and then we're gonna come back, we're gonna make another one, but we're not gonna cut our thread off when we get to this point, okay? So I will come back once I've tied in my thread on this one, and you're going to want to tie it in on the inside of the square. Try to not run around the outside too much, because we will be using the outside when we are joining everything together. Okay, so try not to use the outside, try to use the inside square. So make one, tie off, make another, do not tie off. Okay. Okay, so I've just made my second little one. So there's my first one, and here's my second one. And after I added my crystal on, I came up to the corner. I just sewed through my A bead up to the corner. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass around the outside. And if you're using a crystal, you wanna pay attention. If you're using a bicone, you wanna pay attention to where the, which way the thread runs, because you want them to be facing the same direction. If it's a pearl, it doesn't matter quite as much because it's round, but for a bicone, the shape of the bicone is different depending on which way it is. So you want it to be running up and down like this, okay? All right, see how these are both facing the same way. So you're gonna need to just pay attention to that while you're joining these pieces together, okay? So, so I need to get over to this side. So I'm just gonna follow the beads around in the direction that I was working until I come out from one of those ends, which is the end where the thread is running with, okay? So I'm coming out right here. I'm gonna flip this over like this, okay? And I'm gonna get one of my chaton pieces, and I'm gonna flip that over as well. Okay, so you see our diamond here on the back of our chaton, okay? Hold it so that it looks like a diamond. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add a little right angle unit. So just pick up an A bead. My thread's coming out on the right, so I'm gonna enter into the right of the bottom corner, okay? And I'm gonna pull. Make sure you're working on the back of this, because it does matter. It does stick up more on the front, okay? So make sure you are on the back of your little piece, and then you're going to pick up another A bead, and you're gonna sew back into corner A bead on the first piece, okay? And when you pull that, you're going to have a little right angle weave join like this, okay? So there's my piece, and that's the back side. All right, so now we're going to pass up through the side of that right angle weave unit that we just put on. Try and pull that tight. If you want, you can run around it again just to get your attention improved, which I think I'm going to do. So that step is not on the instructions, but you might want to do it anyway, just to make sure that that tension is good on that unit, okay? Okay, so go up the side, and then we're going to work our way through the diamond up to the other end of the diamond. So just follow the beads. Okay, and once you're coming out at the top of the other end of the diamond, you're going to get your other piece. You're going to note which way the bicone is, and you're going to flip it over to the back, and that's where you're going to join on, okay? So I know that my bicone is the right way, and it's on the back, so I'm going to pick up one of my A beads, and I'm just going to join in to that corner bead. And then I'm going to pick up another A bead, and I'm going to sew into the first bead that I started on. Okay, so when you pull that, now that is joined on as well, okay? And again, you're going to want to probably reinforce that join just to keep your tension a little better. So go ahead and just circle around there again. Okay, so once you get back into your little end unit, you're going to work around the side. So just run through the beads and up to this top bead, okay? Okay, no one said beading was easy. You'd think it would be a little easier just to get up there. Okay, so here we're going to pick up 3 of our A beads. We're going to add a little picot, which is going to become the beginning of our chain as well, but we're just going to get that in place now because we can weave back into our piece and get that unit nice and strong. So go ahead, add those 3 and go into the bead again to add a little picot at the top, okay? And then we're going to go down the other side, and you're going to go down this side and you're going to stop when you exit from the B bead right here, okay? So work your way down the side till you get to that B bead. Okay, so now that you're coming out from the B bead, you're going to pick up 1 of your 15 O's. You're going to pick up 3 of your A and 1 15 O. Okay, so 1 15 O, 3A and 115.0, push that all down, and you're coming out here. So do you see this blue picot that's kind of flapping around right here, and the gold bead right here? We're going to sew through that bead on our chaton, okay? So it looks like this. We have a little join running across like this, okay? You're gonna again pick up 3A beads and 115.0. Okay, and you're gonna sew into the blue bead right here, the first blue B bead, whatever color you're using, your B bead that's right there, okay? So now it looks like this. Just try and keep your tail out of the way for now, okay? We're gonna work our way down to this end. So just work around the side until you get to that end. Okay, and once you're coming out the end, you can flip over to the front. I just find it a little easier to do this bit on the front side, okay? And pick up your main piece and see these 2 points here. This is the 2 beads that we're going to be connecting into. So one side comes out of this and one side comes out of that, okay? So pick which one you want to do. It doesn't really make a difference. You're going to pick up one bead. We're just going to add a right angle weave unit for now. We're going to come back and reinforce this in a minute, but for now we're just going to add a right angle weave unit. Okay, so pick up one more, go back into the little side piece, and then you're going to run around that unit again just to help with the tension like we did before, okay? So go ahead and run through there. Okay, so now it shouldn't want to fall apart, you know, when you kind of let go. It should sort of stay together, okay? We're going to flip back over to the back again. And we're going to continue on the other side and add this on this side, okay? So just go ahead and go up until you come out from this blue bead or B bead right there, okay? So work your way up the side in the direction that your thread is going. Okay, once you're coming out from that B bead, you can go ahead and pick up your 115.0, your 3 B beads, and your 115.0. And just like we did on the first side, you're gonna find where that B picot is, and that little A bead that's right there, that's the bead that you're gonna sew into, okay? All right, and then once you've got that on, you're going to again repeat, pick up 115.0, 3 A beads and 115.0, and you're going to pop up into this blue on this end unit here, okay? So you're going to go ahead and go through there and then work your way. You can either go around the outside, which is probably what I'm going to do, or you can go inside. Okay, so just kind of try and pull that so that the tension here is even on both sides. Okay, so you're going to work your way all the way back down to here. Okay, so just go around the side, down to here, and then we're going to reinforce this into our pendant, and then we're just ready to repeat on the other side. Okay, so let me get down to here and I will come back in a second. Okay, so I'm coming out from, I worked my way down. I actually came down through the middle and around this way just to kind of even out this area here on mine. But you can either go around the outside or you can do that, okay? As long as when you get here, you come around the outside, you'll be fine. All right, so here I am now. I'm coming out from that right angle weave unit at the top. I'm gonna go down the next bead, and then we're going to go into the connecting bead, go down all the way through your bicone, so down through those seed beads and through your bicone. Okay, you're going to pass down through these beads here, so through your 3 B beads, so the one on the left on mine, depends which whether you're doing this side or this side. If you're doing this side, you're going to go down here and go down here and then come back up, so it kind of changes. You're going to go through that B bead that's at that right angle weave unit there, okay, and then you're just going to scooch right straight up the side of the square like this. You don't need to go into this corner, but you do need to go into the next B bead right here, and then through here, back up through your right angle weave unit and into your little side embellishment. Oops, sorry. So what I would do now is I would go into the square, and you can actually sew right around here and meet your tail, tie in, and then just tie in your 2 ends up in this area here, okay? Then you're going to go back, you're going to do another whole unit like this, and you're going to join it on to the other side right here in the same way, okay? And then you're ready to start your chain. So I am going to finish this off, I'm going to do the other unit, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the chain. Okay, we are back. Hopefully you have got this far. You've got your 2 little pieces attached on, so I have done that. So now we are going to begin our chain. Now what I did, obviously you don't have to put a chain. You could just reinforce this picot and then put a jump ring through it and have an actual chain if you don't want a beaded chain, okay? But if you want a beaded chain, we're gonna build off of that little picot on the end there. And for my chain, I did 10 green units and 10 gold units, so I ended with a gold unit. So I'm not counting the one that's like part of the this embellishment as one of them. So 10 green, 10 gold, okay, and then I just put a jump ring through that last unit, and I put an extension chain and a lobster claw clasp with a jump ring on the other side. So that way it's a little bit extendable, and I always like to take one of my bicones and make just a little decoration on the end of my chain. I just think it makes it all look a little bit more professional, you know. So if you want, that would be the length recommendation I would recommend for most people, okay? But it's entirely up to you. Like I said, if you just don't even want to bead the chain, you don't have to. If you want to make it a long line necklace, you could bead a really long chain. Or if you want to do a different type of chain that's also an option for you. So really, you know, you don't have to do what I did here, okay? All right, but I'm going to show you how to do the chain just in case there are some beginners here who don't already know how. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, let me bring you in a little bit, through this outer bead right here, okay, and I'm just using a new thread, and you may need to add thread on, so I'll show you that as well. Okay, I'm going to go down through my right angle weave unit, so I'm going down through the side bead, down through the end bead. Just make sure you leave, you know, double the length of your needle there, okay, and then I'm going back up the side bead. Okay, and now I'm just going to tie a knot with my tail here, okay. So I just tie a square knot. Okay, so I can weave that end in a minute. You know, I don't have to do it right now, okay. I'm just going to hold it out of the way. All right, so here I am on the side of this bead right here. So you're going to pick up 3 of your 15 O's, 1 of the next color. So I'm alternating between my A's and my B's. So I'm going to pick up a B and 3 more 15 O's. And whenever you're doing this, you're always going to work in a figure of 8. So whenever you pick up beads, you have to go around the previous unit, okay? So I'm coming, my thread is on the left-hand side here, so I'm going to enter into the right-hand side, and that's going to make a loop, okay? And then you have to circle down because we just added some beads. So you're going to circle down around your unit. And then you're going to move up to the top of the unit that you just added. So just go up the side and out to the next bead. And what this does is it strengthens it, but it also helps with the tension. So if you didn't do this, it would be like lopsided and going wiggle waggle side to side. Okay, so this is why we do this. Okay, so here I need 3 of my B beads to make another unit like this, okay? So you pick up 3 and we're adding beads, which means we have to circle back down through this unit here. So I'm coming out on this side, I'm going into the other side to make that little circle, but then I have to go down because I just added beads on, okay? So as long as you remember, oh, I just added beads, I have to circle down, you'll be fine, okay? And you're going to go up the 3 on this side. And then you're going to pass through the unit you just added. And do be careful with the 15 O's. It's sometimes easy to like accidentally grab that first one. So just make sure that you're not doing that, okay? And you're just going to follow the beads up to the top. And now we're ready to add our next bit, which will be our 15 O's. So you're going to pick up 3 15 O's, and then our next color will be a gold. So I'm going to pick up a gold and 3 more 15 O's. Okay, coming out that side, so I'm going in this opposite side. Make the loop. Now I've just added beads, so I have to circle around the previous unit, which is this unit right here. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go up through the 3 on the side to get up to the end. And I'm just going to keep on repeating this. So pick up my 3 gold beads now. Again, I have to go down because I'm adding beads on. I have to go around the previous unit, which is this unit of 15 O's. So just go down the 3 15 O's on the side, go through that top B bead and up the other 15 O's on the other side. Go through and then work up to the top, and then you're ready to add your 3 15 O's and a B bead, and you're just going to keep going like that. And when you finish, just run your finger, just grab your chain and kind of pull on it, and it should all even out so that it's nice and smoothly tensioned like this. Okay, you should have a pretty good tension like this if you just kind of grab it and just run along. I mean, you know, it is beaded, so it's not gonna be like perfect, but it looks pretty good, and it shouldn't have any weird lopsidedness to it. Okay, so you're just going to bead those chains, and then you're done, and your pendant is complete. So congratulations if you've made it to the end of day 3. I'm really proud of you. If you are not in our Facebook group, Jules and Rose's Beading Buds, we would love to have you. We'd love to see your piece. Please share in there. You know, what I do can be really lonely because I'm working by myself. And so I love reading you guys' comments and interacting with the people in the group. You know, it's kind of the only time that I get anything, and it's so disheartening when I put out a video and then there's like one comment. And, you know, please say hi. Even if you hate the project, just say hi. It's nice to read all the comments and everything. But anyway, make sure if you are applying to enter that you do answer the questions, just so that we know that you're a real person, and either Rose or I will let you into the group. Rose is Sarah, is her actual name. These are our nicknames, Jules and Rose, okay? She'll let you in. She's really good at adminning the group, and I appreciate her so much, and I miss her. Love you, Sarah. Okay. Anyway, okay, so I will see you guys probably on Friday for another video. I mean, it never stops. But anyway, okay, take care for now. Bye.